From the heart of Louisiana, the voice you can't ignore. This is the Moon Griffon Show.
Hey, all. Welcome back to the Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607 is the number if you'd like to be part of the program. All right. Let me do something real quick because I got a really great guest. Marc Ehrhardt, special guest, executive director of Grow, Louisiana. Marc, 250 years right around the corner, brother.
250 years, Moon. It's pretty exciting. Sort of snuck up on me.
Oh, yeah. Well, you and me ain't been around that long.
That's right. That's right.
So what's going on? I mean, people like you in the business with the oil and gas and our friends in the oil and gas industry, you guys understand what's going on, how big this industry's been ever since it started. This industry, it's probably the greatest industry God ever gave. Is oil and gas, and I think you would agree with me.
I think certainly for the state of Louisiana, absolutely for the state of Louisiana. I think the only other place that could say the same kind of thing would be the state of Texas. I mean, in terms of how the industry has shaped and created prosperity for Louisiana and really for the world. I mean, that's something. I've been having some conversations lately with different folks in talking about how connected oil and gas is and the innovation in energy overall is to the innovation that's at the core of the American story, right? I mean, in the same way we think about the pioneers and the people who, the cowboys in the prairie and the explorers and things like that, man, the story of energy and the story of oil and gas is parallel to that. How we've, this country is what it is today because of what we've done to power where we go.
Marc, you know what? If you really sit down on it, with the way energy and by the grace of God, what we have in the United States of America and what's been produced from day one, it's how we eat. It's how we fight wars. It's how we protect ourselves.
Yep.
It's how we protect our families. You could go on and on connecting with the 250th anniversary and tie it directly to the energy service, and that's what you're talking about today.
That's right. And it's interesting when my daughter was in high school, they were having discussions in science class, and they were having discussions around they were just having discussions around energy. They were having discussions around the environment and all these kinds of things. And the discussion was turning on, the types of fuels we use and this, that, and the other thing. And people having discussions around, well, they disagree with where we're going with energy and stuff like that. And I stopped and said, what if I told you that in the history of humankind, we produce the greatest amount of food per acre that has ever existed in human history right now. Like that the idea of world hunger and the people who are hungry is the smallest number ever in human history when we have the most people we've ever had on the planet. And they were like, I'm like, would you say that's good? Oh yeah, man, that's great. That's great. You don't get any of that without natural gas and without petroleum.
Absolutely.
You don't, because those innovations in how we grow, the innovations in how we feed ourselves and how we produce things for people to eat, man, energy is at the heart of it.
Yeah.
It's at the heart of it.
Marc, I always say that Marc Ehrhardt, our friends with Grow Louisiana, he's the executive director. I always say there's two things you got to have to be a successful country. One is affordable food. The other is affordable energy. Our people in Louisiana and around in Texas, some of the other places too, but our people in Louisiana has helped produce that as long as this industry has been out there. That's the beauty of Louisiana. That's the beauty of the industry. You got to have, when you have high price of foods and energy goes off the wazoo because we're not doing it right, that's going to hurt America. That's going to hurt everybody. But the good news is y'all still out there working your butts off producing this, all the people in the industry.
Oh yeah, well, and I would add a third thing. The two
Yes, sir.
reasons you gave, and how societies and things grow. The third thing is you want more people, right? You want people. You want to have you want to have a state, right? If we talk about Louisiana, we want to have a state where people's families are growing, that there are generations coming after generations, and you have more people because people can do work and people can consume things responsibly, right? So not only are we doing work and getting paid for things, we're also going out and buying things, right? We're putting money in motion and and that's where innovation happens. And when you look at the state of Louisiana, unfortunately, that's an area we need to improve. If we look at where we are at America 250, we need more people here. We need more people to stay here that have opportunities here. We need to draw more people here. The one thing that is 100% true is that the Louisiana people are the absolute best at oil and gas. We are the best because every innovation that has happened in the history of this industry in the United States, there's been a Louisiana person nearby and a part of it.
You know, Mark, I'm glad you're talking about 250. I don't think the celebration of 250 years, uh, we didn't know that we would turn things over to these lawyers that come and sue the very industry that did everything that you just said. And another thing I can add, it's made a lot of people wealthy. That's good. It made a lot of middle class people, some educated, some not so much educated, a way to make a living to feed their family and put the kids through school and even retire. I mean, this thing has done so much for the people themselves that work in the industry, but it's done so much for the whole world. We actually can feed the world.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And you're not talking about, we're talking about the lives that have been created, the jobs, the livelihoods. These are the best jobs. I mean, the oil and gas jobs in Louisiana are the best jobs because of because of the life that they can create, the salaries that you earn, the benefits that you get, the ability to stay in the communities you want to be in. I mean, and that's something I think we lose sight of sometimes because everything gets so politicized about the broader industry and where the world's going. The bottom line is oil and gas in Louisiana has created livelihoods for generations of Louisianians and good livings and good lives for families. And the other part, here's the part that goes with it, the innovation within the industry. The oil and gas industry in Louisiana is so advanced, so sophisticated, so environmentally responsible today than it was 100 years ago. And we're producing more and we're doing better, right? The environmental standards are higher. The performance is better. The efficiency is better. People are getting paid more than they've ever been paid. I mean, it's Louisiana, maybe one of Louisiana's greatest success stories, regardless of whether it's business or culture or anything.
I've always said, Mark, that it's the greatest success story and invention, the technology to get oil out of the ground, coal, natural gas, whatever. It's the greatest invention God ever sent us. It really is. But more specific to Louisiana, there's nothing even come close. There's no industry here that's come close of putting people to work while we feeding the country, while we energizing the country. Okay, there's been no industry that can come close to it. I can promise you, coastal lawsuits ain't gonna get us to prosperity like we think. All these lawsuits we got, none of that's prospering, but very few people. Your industry prospers everybody.
That's right. I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, you can think about every industry of note in the state of Louisiana. Because as you were saying that, I'm thinking, okay, I'm testing it, right? Well, what about pulp and paper? You can't have pulp and paper and forestry in Louisiana without oil and gas. Yeah, what about maritime, right? Shipping stuff, this, that, and the other thing, logistics, the railroad, everything like that, airplanes. Can't have any of that without oil and gas. Can't have anything. You can't turn on the lights without oil and gas. Now, the one thing you can't say is that you cannot pair up trial lawyers and innovation. You can't
but you can't put trial lawyers with creativity how to sue the hell out of people. You can't do that, Mark.
Well, you know what? We'll give them that. It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday in the summertime, so we'll give them that. I mean, yeah, absolutely. You can never fault the creativity in how to figure out how to sue people in the state of Louisiana.
Yeah, that's true.
we, and that's something that my hope and what we've been doing together with you and what Grow Louisiana has done for a decade is to have people in Louisiana gain a better understanding that the value of hard work, the value of innovation, the same values we all hold true. You know, 90% of people in America still believe in patriotism. They believe in the value of patriotism and the importance of it. 90%. Doesn't have anything to do with political party.
I agree.
85% believe in the value of hard work, and 80+% believe in the value of family.
Hey, Mark,
right?
who you thought?
That all comes.
Who you thought? Because I got to take this break, and I want to come back and talk a little bit about Grow Louisiana Coalition, who y'all represent, and about what's going on in Louisiana, because I think it's important, and the jobs and things like that. His name is Marc Ehrhardt, and of course, he is executive director of Grow Louisiana. Great guy. I've been on him many a times. And we'll come back. 250 years we celebrate, baby. This is big. All right, we'll be right back.
Unfiltered, unapologetic, and unavoidable. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show.
Hi, hello. Welcome back. It is the Moon Griffon Show. Always pumped, always ready to serve you. It's Matthew James, Tax Pro Hotline, talking to one of my favorite guests, Marc Ehrhardt, who, by the way, is right about oil and gas. He's right about the bad lawsuits. But, you know, today we kind of talking a little bit about the 250 years and accomplishments of oil and gas. Mark, let's talk a little bit more about Louisiana, the Louisiana way, because we can talk about jobs and the number of jobs and the money and the tax revenue, all the things that it's still doing, not only for our state, but for the whole country.
Oh, I mean, when you look at the oil and gas business in Louisiana, you're talking about more than likely the largest taxpayer in the state of Louisiana. I mean, basically, you have, of every dollar that is earned in the state of Louisiana by an oil and gas company, the state gets, I think, at least 12 cents of that dollar right off the top.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, imagine like when you look at your income, right? There's all kinds of things you can do because you get deductions and you can earn things, and businesses have expenses, and then you pay taxes on the amount of money that's left over.
Yeah.
In the state of Louisiana, the oil and gas industry pays taxes on what it earns before any expenses are coming and this, that, and the other thing. So it is a massive amount of money. 1 out of every 6 jobs in the state is directly connected to the oil and gas business.
Yeah.
And, 1 out of 6. Now,
hey, Mark, just a second. I want to break it for one reason. You're talking about now. But if you look back all these years, it was way bigger than that. That's what I'm saying. It's so big. And since we're celebrating, you got to go back to when it all started. It started booming. Look at the jobs. Look at the taxpayers. At one time, I think our state budget, 93% of it was all in gas. So, man, it's massive. This is massive.
It's massive. I mean, it's hard to put into the numbers that you can get your mind around of how influential and important economically the oil and gas business has been in the state of Louisiana over time, and how it still is. I mean, I know much more about how it still is as opposed to how it was, but it just is massive. I mean, it is the oil and gas business is wired into the DNA of Louisiana.
Yeah.
There is no, and the only other place in the United States where it's wired up even more is the state of Texas. And, we've done research at various times where we've asked people, how important is do you think the oil and gas business is important to the state of Louisiana's economy and to the state? 90% of people said yes, to the point where our researchers said even the people in Louisiana who don't believe in the use of fossil fuels know that the oil and gas business is important in Louisiana, which is difficult when we create political situations and legal situations where we decide to look at companies that have invested here for a century and say, we're going to we're going to sue you because we think you need us more than we need you.
Yeah, but Mark, on the lawsuits though, it affects all the people negatively. And the people that are lawsuit, if they win, affects positively is a few lawyers. That's it. It's like they have their little economy and their little office and some lawyers, and they'll get filthy rich. But on the flip side, all the jobs, how many people we got working in other states because of this that have the skills that all the gas people got skills. They have skills. And so when you run them all out of here, they ain't gonna come running back. And that's, I think, needs to be pointed out.
I think that's an excellent point. I mean, Louisiana people and the oil and gas people in Louisiana, they have skills that other people in other states want. I mean, there are Louisiana people everywhere. And when you look at the oil and gas business, there are Louisiana people all over the earth. If there is exploration going on in the Indian Ocean, there are Louisiana people that are there.
Good point.
Alaska, everywhere. I mean, when we were doing things, when there was more stuff happening even in Russia a few years ago, there were Louisiana people working over there. I mean, that is absolutely true. We are that good at this and that skilled is that we're all over the globe. But the downside is that when there are opportunities that are better other places, it draws Louisiana people and it makes it a hell of a lot harder to get them back. And especially if those people think that they're not welcome. That's the unfortunate thing, man. Everybody I know that is in Louisiana and from Louisiana, regardless of what kind of work they do, it's part of who they are, and they're proud of it. It makes us. I do believe we are special and different because we're from Louisiana, right? It makes us more interesting. And frankly,
I know. But you're talking about a lot of skilled people in Louisiana in that industry still working, but working somewhere else. They got a lot of them still working, but a lot of them have had to leave just for job. They become so skilled. Mark, you know this. People in that industry have become so skilled at what they do. I mean, they really are unlimited on what they can do.
Oh, unlimited. But I think that's the trick for us. Like if we're talking about, as much as we can, 250 years and how we got here and where we are. If we're going to talk about where we can go, I think anything we can do to get to those people who are as skilled and excellent and innovative at what they do and get them back here, we need to do it. Yeah. And that takes thinking differently about oil and gas and the innovation in oil and gas and where oil and gas can go and be open to it, right? Where we can say to companies, we want you to invest here. We're going to be predictable in the taxes you're going to pay. We're going to show you how we have the people who can do the job and how we can bring people back here. And we can also say to you, we're not going to try and sue you out of existence. More the things that we've asked you to come do.
Yeah, there was a time that I believe that business jobs, people going to work, people doing for themselves was way more important than everything is now. Now it seems lawsuits and more money to government is the answer to all the problems, and they're not at all. The other way is better for the business like the oil and gas industry. And, 250 years in America, we don't make 250 years without the oil and gas industry. I just don't think, and Louisiana is a big part of that.
100% right. And I think we need to look at business and innovation. It's not the enemy. It's not the enemy. Businesses want to operate responsibly. Businesses want to do well. They want people to do well, right? And for too long in recent history in Louisiana, we will look at business as the enemy or as business as something we can take advantage of. And that doesn't work. It doesn't work. You go look at Texas. They don't do that. And Texas is doing pretty good. And unfortunately, there's a lot of Louisiana people who went over there.
Yeah.
And we got to get them back. That's what I think we need to get going.
By the way, they left for an oil and gas job and a good paying job, and they'll come back with an oil and gas job back up and running. Hey, Mark, 20 seconds left, 30 seconds left or so. What do you want to tell folks? 250 and Louisiana.
I would say this. Number one, the Grow Louisiana Coalition, we're 110,000 Louisianians who believe in oil and gas. We're the people of the industry. And I would tell you, I think over the next couple of weeks and look around, I'm proud to be an American. We're trying, there's a lot of things out there that are trying to make us feel like we shouldn't feel good about being Americans anymore and being in it together, right? Regardless of what we think. And I'm going to use this as an opportunity to reset myself, to feel good about being an American, to feel good about being in a place where I can vote and I have the rights that I have. And I have friends who may think differently than me, but at least we can say it out loud and not worry about it.
I'm proud. And proud to be American too, and I'm proud that the oil and gas industry came around when it did, because God knows having air conditioning and eating is a good thing. Hey, Mark, thank you. Real quick, right. website.
GrowLouisianaCoalition.com. GrowLouisianaCoalition.com. You can go and check anything out.
Mark, always a pleasure. God bless, brother.